Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dropback Podcast live stream. To you by again. I'm joined as ever, as sometimes ever, by Anne Wilson.
Hello, Joe. Yeah, I'm here for good now. I'm not going anywhere until a month's time, so I'll be here for every
Oh, it's the
single
off
show
season,
you
mate.
got
It's the off
tonight.
season. Don't you worry. Don't
Hey,
you worry.
got the regular season coming around the corner though, so for that first month of September, I will be ever present. So don't go anywhere.
The staple. Well, we're talking all things NFC West this week. The final part of our division previews. So I decided, what better than to have Stan in here, our resident NFC West expert, to really bring it home for the boys.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this episode. I'm quite interested to break down my Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams in particular. Those are two teams looking to maybe take home the division this year. So
Rams are looking spicy.
Rams are looking spicy.
Watch this space. But let's start off with neither of those teams. Alphabetical order means we go 49ers first because numbers are before letters, in my opinion.
Cheers,
So
Joe.
let's kick it right off with the San Francisco 49ers. What are your original thoughts? I mean, last year they were really hampered by injuries, so it'll be an interesting outlook for them. And also, you've got the young rookie QB of Trey Lance sitting in the corner, looking pretty good in all his preseason appearances so far as well.
Oh, Joe, you can't be falling for the preseason nonsense, can you?
I love the preseason. I've established this.
Right. Well, either way, this offense it's looking pretty good, I must say. Like above average, not quite elite, but definitely above average. So you got Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, and Mo Sanu in that wide receiver room. Pretty solid. Ayuk and Debo Samuel, great with ball in hand, great with for run after catch, as is tight end George Kittle, one of the better tight ends in the NFL.
Some would say the best.
Some would say the best. Some would say the best indeed. The offensive line's looking solid, like nothing amazing, but you got Trent Williams, one of the best tackles in the game. Alex Mack as well. Center, Mike McGlinchey, Daniel Brunskill, and Laken Tomlinson as well on the O line. Like it's looking competent.
Have you got Daniel Brunskill? I'm still using that stupid ESPN depth chart. So is Daniel Brunskill in at right guard for you?
He's listed as the starting right guard as of yesterday.
All right, mine's got Aaron Banks, but Aaron Banks is actually listed as questionable, which may be why.
Yeah, Aaron Banks is listed as the third string left guard here.
Well, I'm going to trust you because you probably brought up the right depth chart, and I've been running off the same dodgy shit for a while now.
Yeah, no, this one's pretty good. It gets updated pretty much every day. So I've got one that was updated, yesterday at 9:24 p.m. Eastern.
Damn it. Damn you, ESPN. Yeah, I mean, that it's why I've been so excited about Trey Lance is just because I can imagine they can do so much of him in that offense, especially with, the motion run game and the sort of decoys they can set up for him as like a more mobile QB to use that ability. And also his just arm talent has looked really good in the preseason. I know it's the preseason, but if we're going to have Matt coming on every week talking about Tua's performances, then I deserve to shout about Trey Lance a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And at the end of the day, if you can sling the rock, you can sling the rock. Like preseason will maybe make you look more accurate because there are worse corners and worse DBs playing. But as I said, it's not going to take away from your arm talent.
Yeah, and that I mean, Mike McGlinchey, he looked pretty darn good last season as well in that right tackle spot. I wonder if Trent Williams, I mean, he obviously didn't take a step back, but he is getting up there in age. What is he now? Like, he must be like late 30s at this point.
Yeah, he's getting on a bit, but to be fair, like he's still performing at the highest level, so you got to hand it to him there.
And then we move on to the defense as well. Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw. We've also got D Ford and DJ Jones, Nick Bosa, obviously on that defensive line, which is pretty formidable, if you ask me.
Yeah, I just really worry about this DB group, to be honest with you, because they've lost Rob Salah, their defensive coordinator. They've now got D'Amico Ryans as their DC. So that cornerback room is looking like Jason Verrett, Dante Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, and the rookie Ambry Thomas out of Michigan. And at safety, you got Jaquiski Tarr and Jimmy Ward. That's looking incredibly weak to me.
Jimmy Ward's good. Jimmy Ward's a very serviceable free safety.
Yeah, he's a safety. He's serviceable, but that entire group as a whole is nothing to really write home about. I think we can.
I will agree with the corners. To be fair, I mean, when you've got Jason Verrett and Emmanuel Mosley as the other starting corner, who do they have in the slot then? Is it Ambry Thomas?
No, it's Quan Williams. Yeah. It is Williams.
I guess this is where we see if if it really was the sort of defensive scheme or just the actual talent of the players.
I think a lot of it was the coaching, to be honest with you. Like, the front seven should be much improved this season. They should, like, now they've got like a full strength defensive front. So you got Armstead, Kerr, Kinlaw, and Bosa on the front. Then you got behind that you got Greenlaw and Warner, two of the more underrated linebackers in the game. I think Fred Warner's getting a lot more attention.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Fred Warner's underrated at this point. He's pretty unanimously like one of the top linebackers.
Yeah, so that defensive front, like the front seven, I'm quite happy with. I think that's a solid group. But yeah, the DB group's going to let them down here, and that's why I would be reluctant to have them winning more than 11 games this season.
Really? Well, if Washington football team has taught me anything, is that a front seven can pretty much be your entire defense if it comes to it.
Yes, but they did have a very good DB group last year as well.
Yeah, very true.
Floor and ceiling. Let's go.
Floor and ceiling. What? So you don't think their ceiling is 11 wins?
I think that's what you're saying. I think 11 and 6. Yeah, that adds up to 17. There you go. 11 and 6.
I'm gonna say I think it's probably. I could see them going 12 and 5, but I don't think they're winning much more than that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at, obviously, well, the issue is they have to pay the rest of the NFC West as well, which is a pretty formidable group. But they've got some like easier matchups of the Lions, the Eagles, the Bears, the Colts, maybe Jaguars. We'll see what we get out of the Vikings, the Bengals. I could see it potentially. Those are all games where I favor them in. But yeah, I don't really favor them against the rest of the division. Maybe the Seahawks will go 1-1. But so 12 and 5 is the ceiling. I would probably say, they could be a sort of big bang or nothing at all, just absolute fizzle out. So I'll probably say they could potentially go 6 and 11. So between 6 and 11 and 12 and 5 for me.
I'd just quickly like to interrupt this broadcast. We've got some breaking news here. The Ravens are trading 2021 5th round pick cornerback who they've just drafted, Sean Wade, to the Patriots for a 2020 second round pick, 7th round pick, and a 2023 5th round pick.
Okay.
So I don't understand that at all.
I don't really get it. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just because we've got Young as well in that nickel position, which I assume Sean Wade would have stepped into.
That's quite bad though, considering you spent a draft pick on him, and now essentially
you spent a 6th round pick on him though.
I know,
or was it a 5th?
Either way, it's a bit bad that you're trading him straight away.
Maybe he's not a team fit.
Maybe he's not a team fit. There you go. But anyway, let's get back to the show. So,
What do you think for the 49ers floor?
49ers floor, I reckon with Shanahan at the lead, they're not going to lose less than 7 games. So I reckon it's 7-10 floor.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so 11-6 ceiling, 7-10 floor.
So I've gone one below you and one above you. I
Okay.
think that the range will be a little bit wider.
Interesting.
Okay. Cool. Let's move on to your hometown team, the Arizona Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals. The boys.
I mean, I'll let you take the floor on this one.
The Arizona Cardinals offense looks damn scary this year. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not incredibly excited to see what the Cardinals are cooking up in the desert this year. You've got Kyler Murray returning at quarterback for his 3rd season in the NFL. Chase Edmonds stepping up to be RB1 this season in the absence of Kenyon Drake.
What about James Conner?
James Conner's been brought in. He's going to be number 2. Chase Edmonds is going to be the starter. He's been named a starter. Yeah.
Really?
Interesting news. And then I think this could end up by the end of the season being one of the best wide receiver cores in the league. We've got DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green, who apparently, according to D-Hop himself, is still in his prime. So I think we're going to see a lot of resurgence.
It's not like D-Hop would exaggerate that a little bit, or
hey, wait and see. Wait and see. You'll be swallowing your words when you see AJ Green break 2,000 yards on the season. And in the slot,
I will put a sandwich on that 100%.
In the slot, we have Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore. I think
Rondale Moore, I did really like. When we were doing our scouting.
I think Cliff could. I think in the hands of a smart offensive coordinator, he could be an absolute weapon purely because of his versatility. You can line him up as a running back, wide receiver, slot receiver. You can put him anywhere on the field, and if you put the ball in his hand, he's going to make plays at the end of the day. And yeah, it's all about just getting speed in space with him. So I will be interested to see how we use him. I think I'm really excited for the team now, but I've also got to temper my expectations because of Cliff Kingsbury. Like, I'm very much anti Cliff Kingsbury. Like, it got to the end of last season, and I was pretty fuming. But
some of his play calling decisions just don't really make any sense, to be honest.
Yeah, it does kind of suck sometimes. But
how do you feel about that offensive line? I mean, you got DJ Humphries on the left tackle, Justin Pugh left guard. I do like Rodney Hudson. I like
that. Yeah, Justin Murray as well at right guard. Very, very, very underrated player.
Okay,
he's been solid as like a swing tackle for us as well in recent years. Kelvin Beachum, another solid piece. I think this offensive line for the first time in recent history could be slightly above average.
Yeah, but DJ Humphries on that left tackle spot as well.
He had a really good season last year.
Did he?
Yeah, okay. No, he did. He was very good. He's improved a lot. Yeah, tight end group doesn't really matter for us because we don't really use tight ends in the traditional sense, so they
don't exist.
They don't really matter. All Max Williams did for us last season was drop catches anyway, so not too fast. And then if we look at the defense, it looks pretty special. So defensive tackle, we've got Jordan Phillips currently on the COVID-19 list, Rashard Lawrence, J.J. Watt, and Chandler Jones. Oh, and we got Marcus Golden as well. Then on the inside linebackers, we've got Isaiah Simmons and Zaven Collins, possibly the quickest linebacker group in the league. Do you reckon in those two?
I would definitely say Isaiah Simmons. Yeah, I mean Zaven Collins is sort of big for his size, isn't he? He's very rapid. I would probably say he's quick more than fast, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's got great acceleration. I do want to see him what he's like with an NFL playbook, because that's one of the things we were saying coming up to draft day was, how he only had really like one of 3 options on every single play to shoot the gap on, basically, and that led to a lot of kind of like splash plays, but it was very simple.
Yeah, it is very simple, the stuff he ran, but by all accounts he's stepped up, and if he's listed as the starting inside linebacker over guys like Jordan Hicks, then it's got to be a sign. I mean, I'm hoping that Vance Joseph knows what he's doing here. I really am, but yeah. So just taking a look at the cornerback group as well. Got Malcolm Butler, Super Bowl hero in from Tennessee. Byron Murphy, former nickel corner. He'll be playing a lot outside this season. Robert Alford, he's been in the desert for 2 seasons now, and he still has yet to play a snap for us purely because of injury. And then we have exciting young rookies, Marco Wilson of shoe throwing fame from the Florida Gators, and Tay Gowan from the UCF Knights.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Darqueze Dennard as well.
He's just gonna be a rotational guy that forgets there. Let's be real. Like,
so
he'll see a lot of action.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, Malcolm Butler, obviously he had success with the Patriots, but he wasn't anything special at the Titans. So we'll have to see there. I do love moving just Buda Baker though in general at that free safety spot. He's one of the best safeties in the league for sure.
Yeah, no, he's ridiculously talented as well. We've got Jalen Thompson back as well at strong safety. Deontay Thompson there as well. Bit of Chris Banjo. Bit of an underrated guy. But yeah, Buda Baker and Jalen Thompson will be running the show this year very much.
Yeah, I would, I think that safety room is definitely stronger than your cornerback room. But your front seven in general looks, like they could potentially tear it up. A lot depends on Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because they're young guys being thrust into positions of immense importance in that inside linebacker role. So, yeah, as long as that front seven can gel together and work well, then things should sort of be taken care of for the back end. But yeah, it's too early to tell. My ceiling for this team, I think if all goes well, we can be
17-0.
17-0. No, 14. No, 13-4 is the ceiling, I think.
13-4. Okay.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't go that high.
I'm going all out. This is Kyler Murray's MVP year.
I think it's a really talented squad, but I think Cliff is just going to be what really holds them back once again. So I can't really see them getting more than.
Yeah, this is just the ceiling. So if everything goes right with play calling, this is what the team can be. But yeah, I don't think we'll reach it.
Yeah, but if everything, even in the ceiling, I don't think everything's going to go right with play calling if you got Cliff Kingsbury at the helm. So I personally don't see you winning more than. I mean, I gave the 49ers 12 wins, so I'll give you 12 wins as well, 12-5.
All right, thank you, Joe.
More of a sympathy thing, just because you're here, and I feel the pressure. But
fair play.
In terms of a floor, if everything goes tits up, probably something along the lines of 8 and 9. I reckon. I don't think you're really gonna have that bad of a season.
Yeah, I'll join you with 8 and 9 there. If we do go 8 and 9 though, Cliff Kingsbury's out the door, along with the entire coaching staff.
And he should be.
He should be. I agree.
All right, let's move on to the exciting new look Los Angeles Rams, bringing in Matthew Stafford, and also recently just trading for Sony Michel as well. I believe so. There's a conditional 6th round 2022 pick and a 2023 4th round pick to the Patriots for Sony Michel.
Yeah, it's looking like an exciting team, but I can't lie to you. This wide receiver group, I'm loving. Cooper Kupp, one of my favorites. Van Jefferson there as well in the slot, or out wide out. And then you've got Robert Woods as well. He's another incredibly underrated guy. Yep. And then Djax in from Philly.
Djax, who, somehow is still fast at his age, still an afterburner. So, yeah, I can definitely imagine the Rams putting him in situations where, I mean, I don't think he's going to, break 1,000 yards by any stretch of the means, but he can definitely play that sort of, I mean, what we were saying about like John Brown, for example, that sort of role where he's a very serviceable receiver who you can kind of scheme open and he can get you I don't know, like 700 yards, couple tutties.
Yeah, I'm more excited for Robert Woods than Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson, though, to be honest with you. Like, Deshaun Jackson hasn't proved he can stay healthy. So, yeah, those big three with Matthew Stafford there, I think you're going to see big things. And plus, with the departure of Gerald Everett, Tyler Higbee as well, kind of alone in that tight end room as the guy. So,
Yeah, I want
fantasy
it.
stuff.
He could be a fantasy sleeper, or you know, he may benefit from having another guy in that sort of tight end room. I think a lot of teams are now moving over to having like multiple threats at tight end as well. The Rams team does not seem like one of them. Yeah, it all just depends on how much like Matt Stafford is going to elevate this team when we're comparing it to Jared Goff, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Stafford will elevate the team a lot more because he's
Better.
he's a lot better. And you got Sony Michelle in here now. Like, I was very worried for this team when Cam Akers went down, but now that you've got Michelle in there, like Darrell Henderson won't have to lead the group like last season where he did that point. So I'm excited for that, really am, because this is going to be Michelle's first chance in the NFL to receive bulk carries. Because although he did
Yeah,
receive a lot in New England, it's very much a shared backfield. It's always in by committee,
he's the
whatever
kind
it
of
is.
like he would like occasionally get. It's the reason like you hate picking a New England running back in
Yeah.
fantasies because he would occasionally break like 100 yards and you think, oh, Sony Michelle's got talent, and then
Mm-hmm.
he'll go weeks with barely getting any touches. So I'm happy for him at the very least that he's going to be able to get more of a spotlight on him at running back and really see if he can live up to that high draft pick. The offensive line as well. Andrew Whitworth returning, one of the better left tackles in the league.
Yeah. Austin Corbett's another great one as well in there at guard.
Indeed.
Rest of the line, though.
Yeah, David Edwards, Brian Allen. Brian Allen's okay. Rob Havenstein. I don't know if you've got the same depth chart as me, but
Yeah, no, I'm seeing the same names. Yeah, I've always thought I've never heard it out loud, but I've always thought Havenstein in my head rather than Havenstein. But I think
it probably is
Havenstein. You could,
Stein.
yeah, Havenstein sounds better.
Yeah, I mean it's probably Americans pronounce things weird anyway. So
Havenstein.
Havenstein.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
That's one
Corbett
better.
and Whitworth at least are solid anchors there. So I think overall this offense is one of the more talented ones in the league when I look at this roster. It's not really full of, outside of really Matt Stafford and Andrew Whitworth, like, superstar names, but I think they work well together and we could see big things out of them.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. Let's flip things over now. Defensive side of the ball. Front seven, we got Ashawn Robinson, Sebastian Joseph Day, Aaron Donald on that defensive front, and then
That's the only one that matters, mate.
yeah, Aaron Donald, Big Donald. As long as he's there, you're safe.
We
Then
saw what
at
happened when he
linebacker,
wasn't there, the playoffs.
yeah. Then a linebacker, you got Justin Hollins, Leonard Floyd in from Chicago, Kenny Young from Baltimore inside linebacker, along with Troy Reader.
Kenny Young hits like a mother trucker, as in he actually hits like a truck that
Love
has
that.
mothered children before. So,
I
but
love your explanations, Joe.
yeah, Kenny Young is, I think, will probably shine in that role, to be honest, because he's going to have a lot more playing time. I mean, he's got questions at coverage, but I think generally speaking, he's not going to be. I think Troy Reader is probably going to be the, Mike linebacker in that situation. I mean, it's a 3-4, but yeah. So Kenny Young wrapping up tackles day and night, big hits, forcing fumbles. Love to see it. And then Darius Williams at corner, one corner. Got obviously Jalen Ramsey on the other side, absolute lockdown. And this is where This is where it gets funny because I don't know if this is actually correct at all. But I've got Dante Dion
Yep.
and David Long Jr. as
I like it. David Long was a fantastic man corner at Michigan back in the good old days of when Don Brown could call a defense. He was class.
back in the good old days.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's been like.
He's been a nobody.
He's been a fourth string corner in the NFL. But yeah, I think obviously you've got Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on this team, so they're massive impact players in general. Also, Jordan Fuller at strong safety, very solid.
Class. He was quality last season. Yeah.
Yeah, not too sure about the free safety position. I honestly don't know much about Taylor Rapp.
I really liked him when he was at Washington. I was a massive fan of his work there. Like very quick, versatile safety, great tackler, but he's yet to shine as much so far in the NFL. So, hey, maybe this is his year.
Maybe it is indeed. So, with that being said, how are you feeling generally about the Rams?
I think this Rams team is going under everyone's radars a little bit again. I think they're absolutely they're going to be outstanding. The only thing that could possibly let them down is the offensive line, I think. I'm going to go 13-3 ceiling.
13 and 4, do you mean?
13-4, there you go.
Oh, same as the Cardinals.
I think that a lot of these teams have a high ceiling. I don't think, obviously, all of them can't reach it, but a lot of these NFC West teams have an incredibly high ceiling.
Yeah. It's almost the opposite. I think talent-wise, when I compare it to the Cardinals, I think there's less talent here. But I just think with Sean McVay, with his hands on Matt Stafford, I'm going to have to agree and say like 13-4, maybe even 14-3 as the ceiling for this team.
Right.
I genuinely, I'm pretty high on the Rams. I think they're going to win the division, to be honest.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I mean, I wouldn't be a massive fan of it, but at the end of the day, they are the Rams and they will win.
They are the Rams. What do you think about a floor?
7-8 again. I think they're very similar to the Cardinals in the sense that they've got very good quality roster, decent coaching. Like obviously, our coaching comes on the defensive side of the ball in terms of its quality, but
Wait, so 7 and 10.
7 and 10, yeah. Well, not 7-8.
Yeah.
What am I on about?
They didn't even add up to 16. I was like,
no, I'm not with
Maths.
it today.
It's all right, mate. Yeah, I'm gonna say I can't imagine them losing. Winning less than 8 games. So I'm gonna say 8 and 9, same as the Cardinals, I think. And the final team in this here division, the Seattle Seahawks. How are you feeling about the Seattle Seahawks? I mean, Danger Russ Wilson cooking up a storm in the kitchen, coming back.
Yeah, new OC this year, Shane Waldron. You got same old Russ. You can guarantee a solid year from him as always. Maybe even an MVP season. Maybe.
Or most of an MVP season. Falling apart at the end.
The first 6 weeks of an MVP season. So wide receivers, we've got DK Metcalf, almost unguardable. Look at him, the size of him, the route running.
Scary man. Almost an Olympic sprinter.
Talking of sprinters, you've got Tyler Lockett. Look at the pace from him. Exactly. Brings with it incredible hands, incredible route running, and then
I heard a crazy stat, about Tyler Lockett that he's never dropped a target in the red zone.
I think I've heard that as well.
Yeah, which I can't fact check right now, but I hope it's true. I might be spreading misinformation, but I would believe it because that man's got hands.
He has got hands. We've all seen that clip of that absolute dot from Russell Wilson, the back left corner of the end zone on those NFL media adverts.
Yeah.
Phenomenal stuff. Offensive line, we've got Dwayne Brown, Damian Lewis, Ethan Pocic, Gabe Jackson, and Brandon Shell. Dwayne Brown, solid.
Dwayne Brown is solid.
Pocic, solid. Rest of the line, I'm not convinced.
You're forgetting about the man, the myth, the legend, Stone Forsyth.
Oh,
the backup left
my
tackle.
boy. I love a bit of Stone Forsyth. I reckon he'll end up starting. He'll end up playing right tackle at some point this season. Like the guy is an absolute monster.
He's
Like,
just a complete fridge.
it's an old drop back saying. I think we should look into getting merch of this. You can't move a fridge.
You can't.
You can't.
Unless you hire a fridge move delivery man.
Forklift truck.
Also known as Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really fill me with much enthusiasm, the rest of the line, outside of Dwayne Brown, to be honest. Someone's called Kyle. One of their backup centers is called Kyle Fuller, which is amazing.
Oh, loads of car fillers all over the league.
Yeah, but that's what's going to let this team down, really, isn't it? The offensive line, the same as quite a few years in the past. If there's any truth to Russell Wilson, actively talking about not wanting to be here, I fully understand it, to be honest, because this has been happening for years.
Yeah, just same shit, different year, really. And then backfield relatively unchanged. Chris Carson, Rashard Penny, Travis Homer, DJ Dallas.
Chris Carson's going to be good, but fumble a bunch.
Yep, I agree with you there.
Rashard Penny's going to be still not really worth where they took him, but at the end of the day, also Gerald Everett at tight end. Forgot to mention.
He's listed as the third string tight end behind Will Disley and Kobe Parkinson.
What? That can't be right. Yeah. I don't care how up to date your depth chart is.
Yeah, it is a bit strange. Yeah, Kobe, or however you say it, Kobe Parkinson.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is listed as tight end number 2. So do with that information what you will.
No. I don't know anything about Will Disley or Kobe Parkinson, to be honest.
Disley's all right. He killed us because we can't defend tight ends, basically.
It's because you don't really have tight ends. You don't use tight ends.
We don't understand them.
Yeah, they're just completely foreign objects to you.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's switch over to that defense, though. On the line, correct me if I'm wrong if these depth charts don't line up, but we've got left defensive end LJ Collier. Is that wrong?
I got Kerry Hyder there from San Francisco. Kerry Hyder played a massive role in that front seven last year when a load of players went down. Got quite a few sacks.
He's down as the third defensive end for me.
To be fair, that does sound more logical considering they've got Carlos Dunlap there as well.
Yeah, so Carlos Dunlap on the right-hand side, Poona Ford and Al Woods, defensive tackles.
Yep.
Then we move over to the linebackers. Will linebacker is Jordan Brooks. Mike linebacker, the one and only Bobby Wagner. And the Sam is Cody Barton.
Yeah. I mean, I've got John Rattigan listed as the outside linebacker, the other outside linebacker, but they've got another linebacker position called Leo, which is Darrell Taylor. Maybe that's unique to Ken Norton Jr.'s defenses, but interesting. Then
I'm not aware of what that really means. Maybe it's one of those tweener.
Yeah, like the Viper and stuff like that, the Bullet, like linebacker safety hybrid. And then in the defensive back room, we have Akello Weatherspoon at left cornerback, Trey Flowers at right cornerback, Marquise Blair at free safety, and here he is himself, former President Mal Jamal Adams.
Yeah. You also have Quandre Diggs as one of the backup safeties as well.
True.
I'm really not like this. Like the cornerback room is just, it's
I'm
nothing.
not massively high on this defense as a whole, to be honest with you, or the offensive line.
I mean, they lost Griffin, who was their best cornerback. Outside of, Jamal Adams, we've seen him be great at the Jets, but he wasn't anything particularly special last year with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And Bobby Wagner is a stud. We all know that, but one man on this defense isn't going to make up for it. It's a long cry from the Legion of Boom days.
It is a bit rough, but there you go. In terms of my predictions for this team, I think they can't really win more than 9. 10 games. I'm going to go 10. I think the extra game will do them benefit. I think 10-7 will be their absolute best.
I think best case scenario, Russell Wilson performs some magic and they get 11 wins, but it's not going to be anything more than that. And I also kind of highly doubt that. Just looking at this defense alone, he's going to have to do a lot to really keep them in games all the time while just having to run for his life, essentially. So it's going to be weird. What do you think about their floor? How bad do you reckon it can get?
6-11.
Yeah, I'm just checking their schedule. I mean, they can definitely beat Jags. They can definitely beat the Lions.
I'm gonna stick with my guns.
Yeah, I might even go worse, to be honest. I might go 5-12 if everything goes really badly, because they've actually got a relatively tough schedule. They have to play the rest of the NFC West, and the only games I can see them definitely winning are the Jaguars, the Texans, the Lions, and yeah, those are the only games I can see them. Maybe the Colts, but yeah, it's definitely the weakest team in this division for me this year.
100%. They will be coming last. Like, unless one of the other teams has a massive injury crisis, they will be coming last this year. I'm certain of it.
What, even if Russell Wilson oven bakes a lasagna of touchdown passes and wins the MVP?
I don't have any faith in their defense at all. Outside Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams, they really don't have much.
Although I reckon it's a good bet to put on if you were to do it, because Russell is going to have to throw for his life to keep them in these games. So his stats might be insane this year.
Yeah, that is true. But will he be able to win MVP if his team's been trash, essentially? Will he get votes?
Maybe not.
We will
Doesn't
see.
matter. Yeah, Deshaun Watson didn't get any votes last year, so doubtful.
Yeah, he certainly won't be getting any this year.
I don't think so either. That is all about time. All about time. It's about all the time we have for this week's broadcast. Thank you so much to Brit Ballin for once again hosting this bad boy for us. Sorry for the start of it. We started and then ended it and began it again. So if you're still with us, thank you very much for that. You can catch us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at The Dropback. Just a little announcement. Our website is currently down for some maintenance. We hope to get that to you soon. But other than that, I've been Joe.
I've been Stan.
Until next time. Peace.
See you next week.